Every night at exactly 3:13 a.m., I passed the same burning car wreck near exit 148, the same flames, the same woman screaming inside. When I pull over to help, she vanishes, and my truck refuses to start. There are strange rules for truckers who drive I-95 at night, rules no one talks about, because those who break them don't live long enough to warn others that I took the job for quick cash. But now, I'm trapped between mile markers that don't exist, and something non-human is trying to climb inside my cab. Don't drive this highway after midnight. And if you do, never honk between exits 147 and 153. Not unless you want to wake it up that I'm not the kind of guy who scares easy. Name's Clay. 36. Been driving semis since I was 19. A long-haul road dog, born and bred. Seen just about every corner of the states and every type of weirdness that comes with it. But what happened on I-95 in North Carolina? That broke me. It started when I picked up a new contract from a company called Gray Pines Logistics. No online presence, no HR, just a woman named Ms. Corwin on the phone who wired half my pay up front and gave me strict delivery instructions. Route I-95 only. No alternate roads. Do not deviate. Sounded simple enough. The load was a sealed steel crate. No markings. No barcodes. She called it non-hazardous high-value freight. Whatever the hell that means. But the strangest part? The envelope they gave me when I showed up, printed on stiff yellow paper, titled, Rules for Driving Night Route I-95, North Carolina Corridor. Never enter a rest stop between exit 145 and exit 161, even if you're tired, especially if you hear music. If you see a man in a gray suit on the shoulder waving a lantern, do not stop. Do not make eye contact. Between 2 to 3 a.m., do not look in your passenger mirror. No matter what you hear, at exactly 3:13 a.m., you will see a burning car at exit 148. Ignore it. Do not help. If the CB radio turns on by itself, turn the volume to 0. Do not respond. If something climbs onto your cab roof, maintain speed. Do not slow down. Never honk between exit 147 and 153. It hears that. Reach the drop point before sunrise. If you don't, you won't make it out. I laughed when I first read it. Figured it was some elaborate hazing prank for rookie drivers. But Ms. Corwin's face didn't have a sense of humor when she handed it to me, and the moment I merged onto I-95 southbound just past midnight. That was the last normal second of my life, 1:12 a.m. Entry point rain lashed the windshield like the sky was bleeding. My high beams cut through it in hazy streaks, and the wipers thudded like a metronome of dread. I set the cruise at 58, locked into the right lane, and settled in for the next 160 miles. The first sign something was off came near exit 145. The rest stoplights flickered, not on and off, but like they were blinking in Morse code. I don't know Morse, but it felt deliberate, personal, like it was speaking directly to me. Then, music, Elvis. Musical note, you ain't nothing but a hound dog, coming faintly through the fog, like a warped record playing somewhere inside the trees. I gripped the wheel. My foot hovered over the brake. Then I remembered rule #1. Never enter a rest stop between exit 145 and 161, even if you're tired, especially if you hear music. I blew past it. The song warped into a woman's voice, off-key and slow. Like someone was mimicking the lyrics but didn't understand English. I kept my eyes on the road. My hand instinctively turned down the CB volume. A black SUV pulled up behind me, tailgating hard NO headlights that I watched in the mirror as it kept pace with my trailer's rear end, just inches off. Too close. I tapped the brakes to warn him that SUV blinked out of existence. 1 second it was there. The next, empty highway. I swallowed hard and clenched the wheel tighter. That's when the CB crackled. Hee Clay, can you hear me? I froze. I hadn't told anyone my route. Not even my wife. 2:47 a.m. The passenger side whisper rain stopped. Dead silence. My truck's headlights illuminated something far down the shoulder. A figure, standing still, holding a lantern. Rule number 2 echoed in my head. If you see a man in a gray suit waving a lantern, do not stop. Do not make eye contact. I kept my eyes straight, but the lantern flicked once, twice. Then the voice returned, not from the CB this time, from the passenger seat. She said not to look, Clay. It was my mother's voice, But she died 3 years ago. I gripped the wheel until my knuckles ached. Clay. It whispered again from the empty seat beside me. Turn and look at me. It's okay now. I felt pressure on my shoulder, like a hand. Light and cold. I didn't look. 3:13 a.m. The burning car right on cue. Exit 148. Flames lit up the fog like a flare. A black sedan flipped sideways, engulfed in fire. A woman inside, screaming, slamming on the glass. Help. Please. Help me. Oh God. I swerved to the shoulder. Engine idled. My hand hit the door handle. Then rule number 4 screamed in my mind. At exactly 3:13 a.m., you will see a burning car. Ignore it. Do not help. The woman stopped screaming. She slowly turned her head toward me. Her face wasn't burned. It was hollow. 2 gaping sockets stared at me. And then the engine died. 3:17 a.m. The roof. I turned the ignition. Nothing. Tried again. Click. Something moved. Overhead. Scrape. Clunk. Thud. Weight shifted on the truck's cab. Rule #6. If something climbs onto your cab roof, maintain speed. Do not slow down. Problem was, I wasn't moving at all. Then something leaned down on the windshield. A mouth. Wider than humanly possible. It whispered in a voice that sounded like dry leaves being crushed underfoot. Drive, Clay. Or let me in. I slammed the ignition again. Vroom. Engine roared. The thing screeched and rolled off. 3:33 a.m. The honk exhausted. Frazzled. Every inch of me was vibrating. Then I saw it. A child, standing on the median between exit 147 and 153. In a nightgown. Barefoot. I reached for the horn. Hand hovered. Rule number 7. Never honk between exit 147 and 153. It hears that. The child looked up. Its eyes were wrong. Black pits. No emotion. It opened its mouth. Honk. Honk. I hadn't touched the horn, but it blasted twice. Loud. Echoing. Silence followed. Then the trees moved. Something stepped onto the asphalt. Tall. Limbs too long. Neck twisted sideways. The thing that hears honking had awoken, and it was heading for me. The honk had echoed like a death knell. 2 short, sharp blasts. I didn't press the horn. I swear to God, I didn't. But that didn't matter anymore, because now it was awake. Whatever that thing was, the one rule number 7 warned about. Never honk. Between exit 147 and 153. It hears that. And I had just announced myself like a goddamn dinner bell. 3:34 a.m. The black shape in the median, the girl who'd been standing on the median, vanished. Not ran. Not moved. She simply blinked out of existence. Like a flipped light switch. In her place stood something tall. Too tall. At least 10 feet. Gaunt. Skeletal. Its arms hung past its knees. Skin looked like burlap soaked in oil. Rough, rotted, and twitching. Its head tilted sideways, unnaturally, like a bird studying prey. 2 small pinpoints of red glowed beneath a bone-thin brow. And then, it smiled. I slammed the gas. The 18-wheeler roared back to life, lurching forward, but my foot was trembling. On the pedal, because in the rearview mirror, it didn't get smaller. It was keeping pace, running behind me on all fours like a spider on a leash. 3:38 a.m. The CB radio comes alive. The CB crackled again. That same dry static hiss, like dead grass scraping across metal. Then a voice. Low. Raspy. Familiar. You shouldn't have honked, Clay. I turned the volume to 0. Rule number 5. If the CB radio turns on by itself, turn the volume to 0. Do not respond. I didn't say a word. But the voice kept coming. Do you know what? You woke up? Do you even know what mile marker you're at, driver? I reached for the duct tape I kept in my glove box and wrapped it around the volume dial, locking it shut. But the voice didn't stop. It whispered from underneath the dashboard now. 3. Exits until you die. 3:43 a.m. The wrong exit appears. Sweat trickled down my neck. My fingers locked on the wheel. Then, up ahead, an exit that numbered NO sign. Just a ramp that shouldn't exist, because I was between exit 147 and 153. This one. Read. Exit infinity. Sanctuary/fuel/final confession. I felt my arms twitch. The truck veered slightly. I gritted my teeth, corrected. A soft whisper came from the passenger seat. Take it. It's safer than what's behind us. I looked. NO1 was there, but the air smelled like perfume. the same one my mother wore before. She died 3:45 a.m. The passenger mirror. I remembered rule #3. Between 2 to 3 a.m., do not look in your passenger mirror, no matter what you hear. But I was panicking. I broke. I glanced, just once, and in the mirror, I saw myself, but not really. My reflection was smiling. Teeth far too many, eyes completely white. Then it raised a hand and pointed behind me. I looked. In the rear camera, that thing was on top of the trailer now, crawling. Every step dented the roof. Steel groaned under its weight. Clay, it hissed again, through the metal. Do you regret the honk yet? 3:50 a.m. The blood rain. It started raining again. Except, it wasn't water. It was thick, red, warm, splattering across the windshield. My wipers smeared the crimson into streaks. The dashboard blinked erratically. The GPS screen flickered and turned pitch black except for one line of text. Honk twice again. Offer complete. I gritted my teeth. I wasn't going to do it, but the horn, it pulsed under my hand, like it had a heartbeat, like it wanted to be pressed. I swerved onto the shoulder, slammed the brakes. The tires screeched, truck fishtailing slightly. The thing on the roof tumbled off, but landed on all fours like a cat. Then it walked slowly toward the front of the cab. 3:52 a.m. Face to face, it stood inches away from my windshield. We locked eyes. Its face was wrong. No symmetry, no nose, just a mouth that took up the entire head. It pressed a hand on the glass. Long fingers, too many joints. Then it began to tap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap, 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 tap. Like Morse code again. My headlights flickered. The truck shut off, and then my horn blared by itself. Honk, honk. 2 times. I screamed. 3:55 a.m. The tapping stopped. The creature cocked its head, confused. Then, smoke began to pour from its eyes. It screamed. A sound like a freight train derailing into a church bell. Its skin peeled back, revealing white-hot light underneath. The thing collapsed, twitched, then dissolved into a pile of salt on the asphalt. I gasped. My heart felt like it would explode. And then, the radio came back. Trade accepted. Payment received. Route will now continue. What the hell did I just do? 4:10 a.m. The final miles, the road was quiet again. Silent. Oppressively calm. The GPS came back that I was approaching the drop site. A way station near Dunn, North Carolina. Marked closed. I pulled in, headlights cutting through the fog. And there, under a flickering sign, was a man in a white apron. Grinning that he waved me into the bay. 4:17 a.m. Delivery, cutting it close. The man said, looking at his watch. Sun's almost up. He didn't ask what happened, just pointed at the trailer. I unlocked it. He rolled the steel crate onto a lift and wheeled it inside the building. As it vanished behind a steel door, I heard something knock from the inside. Once, twice, then it honked. Twice. The man in the apron smiled. You delivered exactly what it wanted, he said. What? What was it? I asked. He looked me over, then simply said, a second chance. For someone else. Then he handed me a fresh envelope. Another set of rules. Another route. 4:30 a.m. The envelope. Sequel hook. I sat in the truck, hands shaking, staring at the new instructions. Next contract. Strange rules for Route 58, Appalachian Ridge. Do not pick up any hitchhikers, even if they have your face. If your headlights go out near mile marker 207, close your eyes and count to 30. Do not open them early. If you hear a baby crying in your sleeper cab, it's not yours. Don't check. Your payment is no longer in money. I turned the engine on and drove off toward the mountains, because once you drive the night routes, there's no going back. They told me I delivered a second chance, but they never said for who. Now I'm hauling another sealed container. Only this time, the rules aren't just dangerous, they're personal. I was exhausted. My hands still trembled from what happened on I-95. And yet, there I was, pulling onto a new highway, far from the screams and blacktop of North Carolina, Route 58, deep in the Appalachian Ridge. A winding two-lane nightmare carved through mountain cliffs and fog-choked valleys. There were no billboards, no gas stations, just trees, dense and twisted, pressing in on both sides like they were listening. And sitting on the seat next to me, a new yellow envelope. Heavier this time, Page facing up rules for driving Route 58, Appalachian Ridge contract. Do not pick up any hitchhikers, even if they have your face. If your headlights go out near mile marker 207, close your eyes and count to 30. Do not open them early. If you hear a baby crying in your sleeper cab, it's not yours. Don't check. Never enter the tunnel after 2:44 a.m. The hollow-mouthed man waits there. If you see an extra lane appear beside you, do not merge. That road belongs to something else. Do not eat any food found in the cab after midnight. Once the snow starts falling, stop breathing until it stops. I laughed again. Bitterly. It was the same laugh I'd had when I saw the first set of rules. The laugh of a man not yet broken. That man was gone now. 11:41 p.m. Entry point: the ramp to Route 58 wasn't marked. Just a faded wooden sign covered in claw marks and vines. The air turned cold immediately. Not cool, wet cold. The kind that gets in your lungs and stays there. The sky above me was wrong. No moon, no stars. Just an inky black dome, pulsing. Faintly, like something alive sat just beyond the atmosphere. 12:05 a.m. First glitched the CB radio, still duct-taped from the I-95 run, powered itself on again. The static hissed like breathing. Then a voice whispered, "He's not dead, Clay. He's just waiting." The dashboard lights flickered. My reflection in the windshield blinked a second too slow. And then the glove compartment popped open on its own. Inside was a photo. Black and white. A snapshot of my mother, sitting in my truck's passenger seat. Looking scared, but she's been dead for 3 years. 12:33 a.m. The first hitchhiker fog curled like fingers across the road. Shapes moved between the trees, whispering my name. Then I saw her, a young woman in flannel, waving her arms wildly on the roadside. I hit the brakes. Nearly stopped, but something about her. Her face. It was my face. Same jaw. Same scar on the chin. Same tired blue eyes, but it was smiling. Too wide. She leaned in close to the cab window. "Clay," she said, "it's cold out here." Then she held up a mirror, and in it, I saw her reflection eating me. I floored it. Rule number 1. Never pick up hitchhikers, even if they have your face. 1:10 a.m. The tunnel appears early. I wasn't supposed to hit the tunnel until later. Rule number 4 clearly said, never enter the tunnel after 2:44 a.m. The hollow-mouthed man waits there. But I saw it now. At 1:10 a.m., a gaping black hole in the mountain. No lights, no signs. The air shifted. Cold wind blew from inside it. I slowed down. And then my headlights flickered and cut out. Exactly like rule #2.1:11 a.m. Mile marker 207. The GPS confirmed it. I was at mile 207. The second rule activated. If your headlights go out near mile marker 207, close your eyes and count to 30. Do not open them early. My breathing quickened. I shut my eyes, started counting. 1, 2, 3. The truck creaked. Something brushed against the door. 4, 5, 6. The trailer shook violently. A low thud on the roof. Footsteps. 7, 8, 9. Something licked the windshield. Wet and slimy. 10, 11, 12. A whisper. You're already inside the tunnel. 13, 14, 15. Bang. Something slammed the back doors. 16, 17, 18. The engine sputtered. My heart raced. 19, 20, 21. The seat beside me sank, as if someone sat down. 22, 23, 24. Then a baby's cry echoed behind me. 25, 26, 27. The mirror beside me cracked on its own. 28, 29, 30. I opened my eyes. 1:12 a.m. The hollow-mouthed man. My headlights were still dead, but in their place, my high beams flickered on from somewhere else. And in the middle of the tunnel stood a figure, tall, thin, mouth wide open, but no tongue, no teeth, no throat, just a bottomless hole. Its head slowly rotated 180 degrees. Without moving its body, it looked directly at me. The lights surged. He stepped forward. Rule number 4 screamed. In my mind, never enter the tunnel after 2:44 a.m. The hollow-mouthed man waits there. But I was already here, already seen. 1:14 a.m. Reverse isn't an option. I threw the truck in reverse. Nothing. The gear stick locked in place. The CB crackled again. Drive forward. That's the only way out now. I slammed the pedal, the hollow mouth. Man screamed. No sound came out, but the windshield shattered from the pressure of silence. I covered my ears as blood poured from my nose. Then something worse happened. He opened his mouth wider, and from it came my voice, sobbing, screaming, begging for help. It was my own scream from the night my dad died. 1:20 a.m. Exit the tunnel. I gunned it. The cab burst through the end of the tunnel, back into the open night. My windshield was gone. My eyes burned. The trailer swayed violently behind me, but the road was back. The tunnel vanished behind me like it was never there. And in the rearview mirror, I saw nothing but trees. I pulled over, collapsed against the wheel. I was shaking. I broke a rule, but somehow survived. 2:33 a.m. The food, the hunger hit like a drug withdrawal. My stomach turned inside out, and there it was, a wrapped sandwich sitting on the passenger seat. It wasn't mine. Rule number 6. Do not eat any food found in the cab after midnight. But my vision blurred. Hands trembled. I reached. The sandwich wrapper had no label, just a note, for the next trade. I paused, then threw it out the window. The trees hissed in anger. 2:55 a.m. The snow, it started slow, flurries, then a full whiteout. Blizzard, out of nowhere. The rules flashed in my mind. Once the snow starts falling, stop breathing until it stops. What the hell? I couldn't just hold my breath indefinitely, but the air turned black. Something drifted into the cab, like ash made of insects. I choked, then forced myself to hold my breath. Seconds passed. Minutes. I saw something crawling through the snow toward the truck. It wasn't walking, it was swimming through it, like it wasn't solid matter. When it reached the cab, I could see its face. It was mine again. Smiling. It whispered against the glass. Just breathe, Clay. I'll take your place. Then, the snow stopped. 3:00 a.m. The road returns. The blizzard ended instantly. I gasped in oxygen like it was my first breath in weeks. The road cleared. And there, in the distance, the final drop point. A lodge. Abandoned. Hidden behind pine trees. Lit by a red porch light. 3:13 a.m. Final delivery. I backed into the bay. The same apron-wearing man from the I-95 delivery stepped out. Same dead-eyed smile. You're adapting well, he said. Most don't last this long. I asked him what I was hauling. What's in the crate? He paused, then leaned in and whispered, regret. Yours, bottled and sold. He handed me another envelope and walked back into the darkness, page facing up new. Contract, Route 666, West Texas Badlands. If you see a church on fire, do not stop. It's already too late for them. Any passengers that appear inside your cab after midnight must be ignored, even if they say they're your child. Do not leave the truck, ever. The destination is not on any map. You'll know when you arrive, because it will already know you. I sat in the dark, the truck idling, eyes on the endless road ahead. This was no longer a job. It was a contract with something older than death, and I had just signed it in diesel and blood. You think when the contract ends, it's over, that the delivery is complete, the road behind you fades, and you get to go back to normal. But the thing is, some roads keep following you. Some rules rewrite themselves. And some deliveries, they don't end when you drop the crate, because the final route they gave me, it wasn't about freight. It was about me. 12 o'clock, 11:58 p.m., arrival at Route 666, West Texas. The road had no signs. Just 2 gas lamp streetlights in the desert, flickering against a void of red dust and flat black earth. My GPS glitched out entirely, screen filled with static and blood-red symbols I didn't recognize. As I passed the marker, my phone turned on by itself. No signal. No battery life left. Still, it rang. An unknown number. I picked up, and I heard my own voice say, "Welcome to your final route, Clay." Then silence, and the temperature dropped. Page facing up. Final contract. Strange rules for Route 666. If you see a church on fire, do not stop. It's already too late for them. Any passengers that appear in your cab after midnight must be ignored, even if they say they're your child. Do not leave the truck, ever. The destination is not on any map. You'll know when you arrive, because it will already know you. If your name is spoken aloud on the radio, close your eyes. Quickly, when you see your house appear ahead of you, do not drive into the driveway. It's a trap. I tucked the rules under my visor, shifted into drive, and rolled into hell. Cactus 12:23 a.m. The church desert stretched for miles. No trees, no signs, just a skeletal wire fence on either side and the faint hiss of the wind. Then, out of nowhere, a church appeared on the left shoulder. Old. Stone brick. Steeple cracked in half. Engulfed in flames. A woman stood outside, pounding on the front doors, screaming in a voice that cracked with glass. "They're still in there. Please, my baby's inside." I slammed the brakes, heart racing. But the moment I did, the fire froze. No flickering, just suspended in air like a paused video. Then all the windows shattered at once, and something crawled out of the roof. It wasn't her baby. It had teeth and antlers. I floored it to as I passed. I looked in the mirror, and the woman's face melted like wax. Rule number 1. Don't stop for burning churches. 12:57 a.m. The passenger. My eyes had adjusted to the never-ending dark. Then a voice broke the silence. "Daddy." My hands nearly left the wheel. The voice was coming from the back of the cab. I looked in the rearview mirror. A small figure sat curled on the sleeper mattress. Blonde hair, red flannel, tear-streaked cheeks. It looked exactly like my daughter. But my daughter was safe, with her mother, states away, and I knew the rules. Rule number 2. Do not acknowledge passengers after midnight. Even if they say they're your child. Still, my voice cracked. "Emily?" The figure smiled and said in my wife's voice, "Clay, let me ride up front. I don't like being alone back here." I hit the brakes hard. The figure was suddenly gone. Then I felt it breathe in my ear. "You spoke. That's enough." Radio 1:33 a.m. The name game. The CB radio, still dead-taped, screeched to life again. Static. Then, my full name. Clayton Dale Foster. Spoken like a judge in a courtroom. Everything in the truck turned off. Headlights. Dashboard. Air vents. I remembered rule number 5. If your name is spoken aloud on the radio, close your eyes. Quickly. I slammed both hands over my face and heard the door locks pop open. The air inside turned thick, like syrup. Then came a sound I'll never forget. Hundreds of footsteps circling the truck. They were barefoot. Then a hand touched my neck and whispered, "You failed the last route." He remembers. I opened my eyes too early and caught a glimpse of the thing's face. It was mine, with no eyes, no teeth, just a gaping black void where the mouth should be. Like a warning, like a mirror into what I was becoming. Derelict house 2:27 a.m. Home up ahead in the desert. My house appeared. Not a house that looked like mine. My actual house. Same yellow porch lights. Same crooked bird bath. Same tire swing that squeaked even without wind. I slammed the brakes. That was impossible. I was hundreds of miles from North Carolina. Then the porch light turned off, and all the windows opened. Figures stood in each one. They were all me. Dozens of me. Some were dead. Some were rotting. Some were screaming silently. And one of them smiled. It waved me forward. I remembered. The last rule. When you see your house appear ahead of you, do not drive into the driveway. It's a trap. I threw the truck into reverse, but the house moved closer. The road behind me turned into chains. Thick iron ropes slithering upward, tangling the tires. I grabbed the emergency knife from the dash, slashed the belts, opened the door, and jumped. Man running 2:31 a.m. On foot I ran, through desert brush, cactus, sand, all of it bleeding under my boots. Behind me, the truck screamed. Not the engine, not tires. The truck itself, metal howling like something alive. Then it exploded in a storm of glass and teeth. Skull 2:44 a.m. The red circle eye collapsed somewhere outside the path of light. Desert all around. Then, candles lit up. A full circle of them, standing. In the middle, the man in the apron from the last 2 deliveries. But now, his apron was soaked in blood. His eyes were black holes. "Clay," he said, "you've been good. Very good." He stepped closer. "But this road doesn't pay with money. It pays with memory." He reached out and pressed a hand to my forehead. Payment collected. Brain. 3 a.m. Memory loss. I woke up inside a truck. New truck. Clean. Sterile. Engine humming to NO trailers to NO cargo to NO pass that I checked the glove box. Inside was a yellow envelope. Page facing up, new contract. Final cycle. Unknown distinct rule scribbled. In my own handwriting. If you forget who you are while driving, don't try to remember. It's safer that way. If you see a photo of your family in the visor, do not look at it. Burn it immediately. The deliveries are over. Now you are what's being delivered. That I looked in the mirrored, my face was tired to my eyes were someone else's. Clapperboard. Final lines, quiet, echoing voice. So if you ever drive the back roads near the Texas-New Mexico line and see a black truck with no logos, no plates, and a driver who never stops to sleep, don't wave that, don't honk, because that driver, he isn't hauling cargo anymore, that he is the cargo. And the rules, they don't keep him alive. They just keep him moving, forever.